I always thought dying would be more dramatic. In my first life, when the blade came down followed by the crowd's jeers, the smug smile of the woman who framed me, and the cold certainty that no one would mourn me, I expected tears, or fear, or at least some cinematic flashback montage. Nope. Just pain. A lot of pain. And then darkness. So imagine my confusion when I woke up in a four-poster bed, gasping like I'd resurfaced from drowning, my hands clutching silk sheets instead of blood. At first, I thought I was in the afterlife. Then I saw the mirror. My reflection was, not me. A girl with cascading silver curls, soft violet eyes, and skin too delicate for someone who'd been executed yesterday stared back. There was only one explanation. I'd reincarnated. A soft chime rang in my ears. Ding. The life correction system is now bound to host. I froze. The what? Analyzing host memories. Error detected. Host died unjustly. Initial compensation granted. Basic survival package. My mouth hung open. And then, because fate apparently hated me, a holographic screen appeared. Welcome, host, to the life correction system. Your new life objective: prevent narrative collapse and secure your survival. Only after reading the name did things click into place. I recognized this room. I recognized this body. I recognized the world. It was from Rose of Wintercourts, a romance novel I binge-read in my past life. The protagonist was a sweet orphan who melted the cold heart of the Empire's strongest hero. The villainess was the Duke's daughter, haughty, jealous, cruel. And apparently, me. In the original story, the villainess died tragically by Chapter 7. I inhaled sharply. System, please tell me I'm not her. Host is indeed Lady Seraphina Wintermorn, official designated villainess. I buried my face in my hands. Great. Perfect. Wonderful. Reborn only to die again and earlier than last time. Before I could spiral further, another notification chimed. Mission 1. Survive the hero's wrath. Description: the hero suspects Lady Seraphina of harming the protagonist. Survive the confrontation without triggering a death flag. Reward: plus 100 charm points. My blood turned cold. The hero, Selim Ashford, was infamous. His sword skills were unmatched. His temper, even sharper. And in the novel, today was the day Seraphina insulted the protagonist and got slapped by Selim's sword. System, I whispered, are you telling me he's about to show up? Scanning. Hero approaching at high speed. Estimated arrival, 3 minutes. I scrambled out of bed. Okay, what do I do? Suggested strategy: 1. Do not antagonize the hero. 2. Do not insult the protagonist. 3. Cry, maybe. Humans are easily weakened by tears. Are you calling me emotionally manipulative? Affirmative. There was no time to argue. Heavy footsteps approached the door. I took a deep breath. This wasn't just about living in a book. This was about surviving where the villainess originally died. And if I had to grovel, cry, or charm my way out of trouble, I would. The door slammed open. The hero stepped in, storm swirling in his blue eyes. And the mission officially began. The hero's glare could have frozen lava. Selim Ashford stood at the doorway like an executioner carved from marble, tall, broad-shouldered, and terrifying in that infuriatingly beautiful way only fictional men seemed capable of. His coat billowed behind him as if he'd rehearsed the entrance. For some reason, that annoyed me more than it should have. But then I remembered, his sword would be at my neck in approximately 3 seconds if I said the wrong thing. So I smiled. A very tiny, non-threatening smile. Good morning, Sir Selim. My voice cracked like I was going through puberty. His eyes narrowed. Lady Seraphina. Where is she? She. Oh, right. The protagonist. Lily. The girl who was supposed to be crying on the floor right now after being viciously pushed by the villainess. Which I had not done. Thank the gods for reincarnation rerouting my schedule. Still, Selim didn't know that. I haven't seen her today, I said carefully. A twitch in his jaw told me he thought I was lying. In the original story, Seraphina did lie here. Badly. System notice: Host's acting skill is below average. Recommended action, add tears. No, I mouthed silently. No tears yet. Selim stepped closer. Too close. I could see the flecks of gold in his irises, the way anger tightened every line of his face. Lady Seraphina, he said, multiple witnesses saw Lily running from your garden. In tears. That complicated things. I raised my hands slowly, palms out. I genuinely didn't do anything to her. Impossible, he snapped. Ouch. Even reincarnation couldn't protect me from being stereotyped. He leaned in, voice low and lethal. If you've harmed her. Ding. Mission update. Hero is 30% convinced of host's innocence. Continue. Oh good. Only 70% left before he stopped imagining my funeral. I understand your concern, I said, summoning every polite-bred noble tone I could muster. But I truly have no reason to hurt her. In fact, I've been unwell. He blinked. Not much, but enough. I pointed at the bed. I woke up dizzy. I haven't even stepped outside today. He followed my gesture, eyes scanning the slightly rumpled sheets. System, credibility rising. 48%. I needed something stronger. Taking a shaky breath, thank you, adrenaline, I let myself wobble a little. Not dramatically, just enough. His hand shot out instinctively, catching my elbow. The contact startled both of us. You're cold, he murmured. Probably nerves, I whispered. Your entrance was intense. A faint flicker of guilt crossed his expression. Ha! Got him. I didn't mean to frighten you. Too late, I muttered. His lips twitched. A microscopic smile. If I hadn't been staring at him like my life depended on it, which it did, I might have missed it. System, hero's hostility reduced by 25%. Charm points recommended. I promise, I said softly, I would never harm Lily. If she's hurt, I truly hope she's all right. This time, I let my voice waver just a bit. Not tears. Not yet. Just enough vulnerability that even a battle-tempered hero couldn't ignore it. Selim exhaled slowly. Very well. I'll confirm her condition before drawing conclusions. Translation, you get to live another hour. But then, because the universe enjoyed tormenting me, he said, I'll escort you to her. What? If you're innocent, you won't object. System warning. Potential death flag approaching. Location of confrontation matches original downfall route. Of course it did. I forced a smile so stiff it could have cracked. Lead the way, Sir Selim. As I followed him out of the room, I whispered back to the system, how am I supposed to survive this? System suggestion, improvise. And maybe pray. Fantastic. Mission 1 wasn't over. And I had a feeling things were about to get much, much worse. If walking to my own doom had a soundtrack, it would be the steady thunk of Selim's boots echoing down the corridor. Every step tightened the knot in my stomach. I was practically rehearsing my last words. Lily's room was at the end of the east wing, soft pastels, dainty curtains, and enough floral patterns to cause seasonal allergies. The polar opposite of the villainess's chambers, which, now that I lived in them, I appreciated for their lack of lace. System, I thought desperately, any last-minute advice before I die again? System, avoid saying anything villainous. That's it. I hissed under my breath. System, that is all. Good luck, host. You're statistically going to need it. Encouraging. Selim knocked once. Lily. It's Selim. I'm coming in. He didn't even wait for permission. Typical male lead behavior. The door creaked open, and there she was, Lily Evergarden, halo glowing, eyes watery, looking like innocence personified. A small gasp escaped her lips when she saw who stood behind Selim. Lady Seraphina. The moment her gaze touched mine, she flinched, just slightly, but Selim noticed. Of course he did. He moved subtly closer to her, blades practically humming with protective instinct. Lily, he asked softly, were you hurt? You were seen running from Lady Seraphina's garden. Lily bit her lip. I didn't mean to cause a misunderstanding. Her voice trembled. Selim tensed. I nearly passed out from stress. System notice. Hero's protective instinct level rising, danger level increasing. I stepped forward deliberately, hands visible, as though approaching a frightened deer. Lily, I said gently, I didn't push you. I didn't even see you yesterday. Her eyes widened. Confusion flickered through them. Oh, yesterday, she twisted her hands. I might have misunderstood. I slipped because a squirrel, ran under my feet. A squirrel. A squirrel. I almost burst into relieved tears. Even Selim froze, as if trying to compute that the villainess had not, in fact, terrorized anyone except maybe rodents. Squirrel, he repeated slowly. Lily nodded vigorously. I panicked. I thought someone was chasing me. Selim looked at me. For the first time, there wasn't pure hostility in his eyes. System, host's danger level reduced to 32%. Progress. I see, Selim murmured. Then there was no confrontation? No. Lady Seraphina didn't do anything to me, Lily insisted. I exhaled quietly, shoulders relaxing for the first time in hours. But then Lily stepped closer, eyes warm and far too bright. Lady Seraphina. I'm so relieved. Anne. I hope this doesn't sound strange, but I'd like to be friends. I almost choked on my own spit. Friends. In the original plot, the villainess sneered at Lily, humiliated her, and effectively signed her own death warrant. I was not repeating that script. Of course, I said quickly, smiling like a terrified diplomat. I'd love to. Lily lit up. Selim blinked, visibly thrown by my civility. System, survival odds up 40%. Then Lily clasped my hands, beaming with enough radiance to blind a small nation. I'm so glad. Then. Lady Seraphina, will you join me for tea tomorrow afternoon? Tea. In the novel. The tea party humiliation event. My stomach dropped. The system chimed instantly. System alert. Upcoming canon scene, tea party humiliation. High danger. I forced my twitching smile to remain in place. I would be honored, I managed. Lily clapped joyfully. Selim watched me, expression unreadable. But the system whispered ominously. Warning, host has altered the narrative. Future dangers will escalate. I swallowed hard. Wonderful. I'd survived today. But tomorrow? Tomorrow I walked into the lion's den with nothing but shaky charm points and a prayer. And maybe a squirrel. The next morning, I woke up with a deep and profound certainty. I hated tea parties. Not just disliked. Hated. The kind of hatred forged by trauma, fear, and the knowledge that one poorly timed comment could lead to public disgrace, social exile, or decapitation before dessert. System reminder, event triggered tea party humiliation. Objective, prevent social downfall. Yes, thank you, I muttered as my maid styled my hair into some elaborate updo that made my neck hurt. Very helpful. System, host sarcasm level rising. Because I'm stressed. System, noted. No solution available. Figures. By the time I reached the garden pavilion, my nerves were a tightly wound mess. Sunlight filtered through vines, casting warmed apples across the white tablecloth and plates of delicate pastries. It looked harmless. Peaceful. A lie. Lily brightened the moment she saw me. Lady Seraphina, you made it. Her genuine happiness was both sweet and terrifying. Because where Lily shone like a warm candle, the three noble girls at the table burned with enough hostility to roast a turkey. Lady Vivian. Lady Priscilla. Lady Maren. In the novel, their hobby was making Seraphina's life miserable. I gave a polite bow. Good afternoon. Lady Seraphina, Vivian said with a smile sharp enough to slice bread, we were just talking about you. Fantastic. My favorite sentence. Oh, I said pleasantly. All good things, I hope. They exchanged glances. Lily, sweet angel that she was, did not notice the tension at all. Please, sit next to me. I did, posture immaculate, expression serene, heart pounding like a war drum. The girls attacked immediately. Lady Seraphina, Priscilla began, we heard you've been unwell lately. Translation: emotionally unstable witch. I appreciate your concern, I said smoothly. I'm doing quite well. Vivian leaned forward, lowering her voice like she was sharing a secret. And the incident with Lily yesterday? Such a fright, wasn't it? Lily paled. Oh, that was my mistake. It must be difficult, Vivian continued, ignoring her, being compared to Lily. She's so loved, so sweet. And you? Ah. There it was. The comparison trap. I smiled gently. Lily is wonderful. Anyone would admire her. Lily flushed bright pink. The other girls blinked. System: host has avoided a major aggro trigger. Plus 10 survival points. Vivian squinted at me. You seem different today. I'm trying something new, I replied, sipping tea. Self-improvement. You mean pretending to be kind, she said sweetly. That one stung, but the villainess did not snap today. I mean learning to be better, I said calmly. It's never too late to grow, is it? Lily clasped her hands admiringly. That's so inspiring. The three noble girls looked like they'd swallowed their spoons. And then, because fate is a comedian, a bee flew into the pavilion. A giant bee. Lily shrieked, jolting upright. Her hand smacked straight into the table. The world slowed. Teacups tipped. Hot tea sailed through the air, aimed directly at me. System alert. Incoming humiliation scenario. No. Not today. I stepped back gracefully, letting the tea splash onto the empty chair. Lily gasped. I'm so sorry. It's all right, I said kindly. Are you hurt? Her eyes widened. Emmy. No, I thank you. The noble girls stared at me like I'd suddenly grown wings. And that's when a voice cut through the chaos. Lily. I heard screaming. Selim strode in, sword half drawn, ready to massacre whatever dared attack his precious heroine. He saw the spilled tea. Lily trembling, me dry and unharmed. His eyes narrowed. Death flag. But Lily grabbed his arm. Selim. It was just a bee. Lady Seraphina even protected me. Protected. Not accused. Not humiliated. Protected. Selim's gaze shifted to me, conflicted. You're unharmed? Perfectly, I said, smoothing my dress with quiet dignity. System: mission progress 90% complete. Lily nodded vigorously. She was amazing. And so kind today. Even the noble girls muttered agreement, shocked. Selim's eyes lingered on me a moment longer than usual. Good, he said quietly. Unexpected warmth flickered in his gaze. Then he muttered something about security hazards and escorted the bee, yes, the bee, away from Lily. As the tea party resumed, the system chimed. System notice: host has successfully prevented humiliation. Mission 1 nearing completion. I sipped my tea, exhaling slowly. I survived. But the system whispered ominously. Warning: story deviation increasing. New dangers will arise. Of course they would. Because nothing is more terrifying than a romance novel with unpredictable plotlines. Especially when you're the villainess. The morning after the tea party, I woke up feeling victorious. For the first time since being reborn, I hadn't died, cried, or accidentally triggered a death flag. In fact, I'd survived a major canon humiliation event with my dignity intact. I even stretched luxuriously in bed. Big mistake. Because the moment I opened my eyes. Ding. Mission 1 complete. Reward: plus 100 charm points. New mission unlocked. Mission 2: maintain hero favorability above 0. Penalty for failure: increased death probability in future events. Wait, what? Maintain what? System: Hero Selim Ashford's current favorability toward host, 12%. Note: host is unlikable by default. Excuse me? System: statistical fact. I threw a pillow at nothing. It passed through the hologram like air. Fantastic. I was still grumbling when a maid rushed into my room, face pale. Lady Seraphina, T the hero is requesting your presence. My heart dropped. What? Why? He said it is urgent. Urgent. Hero. Me. That combination never meant anything good. I dressed quickly and followed the maid to the training grounds, the last place I expected Selim to be waiting. He stood in the center of the courtyard, sword at his side, sunlight glinting across his golden hair. He looked every inch the handsome, terrifying male lead. When he saw me, he stiffened slightly. Lady Seraphina. His tone wasn't hostile. That was new. I stopped a few steps away, swallowing. Good morning, Sir Selim. You requested me? He studied me for a long moment. Too long. His eyes were sharp, thoughtful, assessing as if trying to decipher a very complicated puzzle he wasn't entirely sure he had the pieces for. You're different lately, he finally said. My stomach twisted. Different how? Your behavior, he said simply. You've been calmer. Polite. Even, he cleared his throat, kind. System notice, hero favorability +3. Current total, 15%. I tried not to look too smug. Well, I've been reflecting on my past actions, I said honestly enough. Trying to grow. Isn't that normal for anyone? Selim's brows knitted. Not for you. You didn't have to say it so bluntly. He looked away, lips twitching. Then, unexpectedly, he stepped closer. Lady Seraphina, he said quietly, I wanted to thank you. For helping Lily yesterday. I blinked. What? You moved her out of the way of the tea, he said. You protected her. Oh. He'd noticed. I only did what anyone would. No, he said firmly. Not anyone. His eyes softened, not much, but enough to make my breath hitch. This was dangerous. This was the kind of moment where, in a normal romance novel, the heroine's heart would flutter and soft music would play. Except I wasn't the heroine. I was the villainess. I straightened, trying to regain emotional footing. Lily is kind. I don't want to hurt her. Selim looked at me so intently I had to look away. You may not realize this, he said slowly, but she cares for you already. My chest tightened. Lily was genuinely sweet. And genuine sweetness was my weakness. But then Selim added. Anne. I'm beginning to think I misjudged you. System notice, hero favorability +6. Current total, 21%. I panicked. Misjudged. Oh no, I'm perfectly judgeable just as I am. He actually laughed. The hero laughed. At me. I wanted to melt into the ground. Selim's gaze dropped, his voice growing serious again. Seraphina. My heart nearly leapt out of my body. He'd used my name. I want to observe you. I choked. Observe me? Like a science experiment. To understand you, he corrected. You've changed. Lily noticed it too. The other ladies said you were composed. Kind. I want to crawl into a hole, I whispered. Pardon? Nothing. Selim exhaled slowly. What I'm saying is, I intend to watch you closely from now on. System alert, hero monitoring intensifying. Risk level, mild to catastrophic depending on host behavior. Oh wonderful, I muttered. Just wonderful. Selim stepped back, adjusting his gloves. Let's start with a simple task. Walk with me. Walk with. Why? So I can ask you questions. Interrogation. Great. But refusing him would be suspicious. And dangerous. So I nodded stiffly and followed him through the courtyard. As we walked, he stole glances at me, curious, cautious, oddly gentle. And for the first time, I realized he wasn't looking at me like a villainess anymore. He was looking at me like a mystery he wanted to unravel. A dangerous development. But also, maybe the first thread of change I desperately needed. System reminder, mission 2 active. Maintain hero favorability above 0. Tip, try not to insult him. Or trip. Or breathe suspiciously. Great. Now I had to keep the hero from hating me. Again. By the time Selim released me from our walk, which was really more of an interrogation sprinkled with accidental romantic tension, I felt like my soul had been wrung out and hung to dry. He asked so many questions. Why was I calmer? Why was I kinder? Why did I protect Lily? What was my favorite book? Why did I look flustered when he looked at me? That last one I pretended not to hear. But the moment I returned to my room, the system chimed with its usual lack of sympathy. New side quest unlocked. Appease the hero's curiosity. Task: answer Selim's next 3 questions without lying or dying. Reward: plus 20 wisdom points. Failure: increased suspicion level. I swear, I groaned, collapsing face-first into my pillow. You enjoy this. System: host suffering is incidental to progression. That's exactly what a sadist would say. System: incorrect. Sadistic tendencies not included in system package. Additional fee required. There's DLC for this. I didn't have time to argue because another knock sounded at my door. Lady Seraphina? The academy carriage is waiting. Ah. Right. The academy. Today. Where all the noble teenagers studied, flirted, duelled, plotted, and occasionally ruined each other's lives. Also where, in the novel, Seraphina publicly bullied Lily so harshly on the first day the heroine fainted. My stomach twisted. If I messed this up even once, there would be no surviving Selim's wrath this time. All right, I whispered, steeling myself. Let's do this. The academy courtyard buzzed with life when I arrived. Students chatted excitedly, compared schedules, or tried to show off in front of their crushes. I stepped out of the carriage with my chin lifted, posture straight, and anxiety screaming internally. As expected, whispers immediately started. Is that Lady Seraphina? She looks different. Do you think she'll start trouble today? No way, she's terrifying. Lovely. I scanned the crowd for Lily and spotted her instantly. She waved enthusiastically like a puppy spotting her favorite person. I almost waved back. Almost. Unfortunately, my gaze also met Selim's across the courtyard. He stopped walking. His eyes traveled from my hair to my dress to my posture slowly enough to make my cheeks heat. Then he started walking toward me with purpose. System, I hissed internally, why does he look like that? System, hero approaching. Monitoring intensity, elevated. Recommendation, do not flee. I considered fleeing anyway. But Selim stopped in front of me, gaze warm but sharp. Good morning, Seraphina. There it was again. My name. Why did it sound like a sin when he said it? Gee, good morning, Sir Selim. He studied me for several seconds before asking. Did you sleep well? System. Question 1 detected. Side quest progress, 03. Okay. Easy. I could answer this. Yes, I said honestly. Surprisingly well. Selim's eyes softened. Good. System. Answer accepted. Progress, 1/3. Lily ran up next, breathless. Seraphina. You look so pretty today. I brightened. Thank you. And you look adorable. She beamed so hard the sun looked dim. Selim watched the exchange with something almost like relief. Before I could unpack that, he suddenly asked, what are your goals for the semester? System. Question 2 detected. Progress, 1/3. Goals. My goal was avoid dying in increasingly ridiculous ways, but I couldn't say that. So I inhaled deeply and said, I want to improve. As a person. In everything. Selim blinked slowly. That's admirable. I flushed. System. Answer accepted. Progress, 2/3. Then Selim asked his third question, too quickly, too suddenly. And what's your opinion of me? I froze. He didn't look smug. He didn't look playful. He looked genuinely curious. Damn him. Damn the universe. Damn this question. System alert. Question 3 detected. Final answer needed. Warning, lying will result in suspicion penalty. I looked at Selim, at the hero who should hate me, who still could, who wasn't supposed to look at me like this. My heart thudded painfully. I think, I began slowly, softly, that you're someone who wants to do the right thing. Even when it's hard. Even when it hurts. And I respect that. Selim didn't move. Didn't blink. He just stared at me like I'd handed him the rarest treasure in the kingdom. My stomach flipped. System. Answer accepted. Side quest complete. Hero favorability +9. Current total, 30%. 30%. That was dangerously high. Selim finally exhaled. That's unexpected. But I'm glad. His voice, usually cool and composed, sounded almost warm. Almost tender. Someone, somewhere, probably fainted at the sight. Seraphina, he said quietly, may I walk with you to class? I nearly choked. Lily gasped. Students stared. I managed a stiff nod because my brain had shut down. But as he stepped beside me, shoulder brushing mine, close enough to smell the faint scent of steel and cedar, the system chimed again. Warning, story divergence reaching significant levels. Major plot lines will begin shifting. Oh, fantastic. Because if surviving the heroine's wrath wasn't terrifying enough, surviving the hero's attention might be even worse. If someone had told me 2 weeks ago that the Academy's golden hero would voluntarily walk to class with me, the villainess, the designated future criminal, I would have laughed until I choked. Yet here I was, walking beside Selim Ashford. My shoulder brushed his every few steps, my nerves were doing a full circus performance, and every passerby stared like we were parading a dragon through the hallways. Lily skipped lightly behind us, humming happily. She looked like a matchmaker who'd just leveled up. I shot her a discreet glare. She only winked. Traitor. Selim, unaware of my internal breakdown, held the door open for me as we reached the classroom. After you. He said it so naturally that for a moment I wondered if I'd stepped into the wrong novel genre. Was this still romance comedy system fantasy, or had we wandered into slice-of-life fluff? Thank you, I said carefully, stepping inside. But as the door shut, whispers immediately erupted. Is this real? He actually walked with her. But wasn't she supposed to bully Lily? I heard she protected Lily instead. I heard she smiled. Oh no, that's definitely a demon. I resisted the urge to scream. Selim ignored them all, taking the seat beside mine. The seat beside mine. In the novel, that desk remained empty. A symbolic isolation. Now the hero was sitting there like it was the most normal thing in the world. Lily sat in front of us, turning around every 5 seconds to grin. I wanted to bury my face in my hands. Class began, but I heard none of it. Because the moment the professor started writing on the board, Selim leaned slightly toward me and whispered, "Are you feeling all right?" My hand jerked so hard my quill nearly snapped. I'm fine, I whispered back. Why do you ask? You seem nervous. I'm sitting next to you, I hissed under my breath. People are staring. Of course I'm nervous. His brows pulled together slightly. Does my presence bother you? Yes. No. Kind of. Maybe. Emotionally? Absolutely. Romantically? I plead the fifth. Survival-wise? Dangerously. I'm just not used to it, I whispered. That's all. Selim nodded slowly, as if filing that away. By the time class ended, my nerves were shot. I tried to make a quick escape, but Selim caught up effortlessly. Seraphina, he said, stopping me gently with a hand on my arm. I froze. His hand was warm. Warm and firm and... My brain shut down. He withdrew his hand immediately, looking oddly flustered. Sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. You didn't. Lie. I was extremely startled. Selim hesitated, glancing around. Students were pretending not to eavesdrop. Very poorly. I wanted to ask you something, he said quietly. The system pinged in warning. System alert. Unexpected event triggered. Hero's personal inquiry. Danger level, moderate. Great. Just what I needed. Selim's voice softened. Why are you trying so hard? I blinked. Trying. To change, he clarified. To be better. It's not easy. Most people don't bother. His eyes searched mine, earnest and unsettlingly gentle. So why you? My breath hitched. Because I died once. Because I was framed. Because I refused to repeat the same tragedy. Because I want to live. Because I don't want to hurt Lily. Because I don't want you to hate me. Because I just want a chance, I whispered. Selim's expression shifted subtly, but the impact felt seismic. "Everyone deserves one," he said. "Including you." Warmth spread in my chest like sunlight breaking through winter clouds. Too warm. Too dangerous. I stepped back slightly. "Thank you. Truly." He nodded, but his eyes lingered. As if there was something he wanted to say but couldn't. Or shouldn't. Lily appeared at my side then, grabbing my hand. "Seraphina. Come with me. I want to show you the greenhouse." "Ah yes, of course." Selim watched us go, expression unreadable. But the moment I was out of earshot, the system chimed. Hero emotional shift detected. Favorability approaching a critical threshold. Critical threshold? What does that mean? I whispered. System, meaning classified until triggered. No. No. Do not be mysterious right now. System, host anxiety levels rising. Congratulations. I'm going to uninstall you. System, impossible. I am bound to your soul. Even worse. But as Lily tugged me forward, chattering excitedly, I glanced back just once. Selim was still watching. And for the first time, I realized. The hero wasn't just curious anymore. He was starting to care. And caring heroes, which the novel never accounted for, were far more dangerous than wrathful ones. The world was quiet when the final mission appeared. No fanfare. No glowing screen. Just a soft chime as I stood alone in the moonlit garden, the same garden where the original villainess's downfall began. Final mission. Correct the ending. Objective. Prevent the collapse of the narrative world. Completion requirement. Restore balance. Reward. System release. Restore balance. I whispered. What does that even mean? The system didn't answer. Which terrified me more than any warning ever had. Because if the system was quiet, it meant the mission was truly final. Footsteps approached. I didn't need to turn to know who it was. Selim. He always found me now. Seraphina, he said gently, stopping just beside me. You disappeared after the ceremony. Lily was worried. I just needed air, I murmured. But he heard the tremor in my voice. What happened? I hesitated. Should I tell him? That the world he lived in was a novel? That fate demanded tragedy? That my survival came at the price of destabilizing everything? That to restore balance, someone had to take the villainess's place in the ending? My throat tightened. If I'd never met him, this would be easier. But I had. And Selim cared. Not just out of duty. Not out of chivalry. He cared. Dangerously. Painfully. Beautifully. I'm supposed to fix something, I said softly. Something important. He frowned. You don't have to fix anything alone anymore. My heart twisted. Selim, I whispered, what if the ending demands a sacrifice? His jaw clenched immediately. Absolutely not. Whatever it is, we'll find another way. But the system chimed. Correction impossible. Balance required. A chill washed over me. The story needed a villainess. A scapegoat. A narrative focal point for conflict. I had avoided every death flag, protected Lily, and changed the plot. But in doing so, I'd broken the structure. Someone had to take the fall. If not me, then Lily. Or Selim. Or the Empire. The choice wasn't fair. But it was clear. I can't let anyone else pay the price, I said, voice trembling. Selim stepped closer, eyes blazing with something fierce and desperate. Seraphina, look at me. I did. And for a moment, his expression softened into something I had no right to witness. I won't let you die, he said. I won't lose you. My breath caught painfully. You weren't supposed to care, I whispered. Too late. He cupped my cheek, thumb brushing a tear I hadn't realized had fallen. Stay, he murmured. Whatever it is, we face it together. I wanted to. Gods, I wanted to. But Lily's laughter echoed faintly through the garden, and I knew. I couldn't drag them into the collapse. A warmth spread through my chest, the system activating. Light shimmered around me. Selim's eyes widened. No, Seraphina. I won't let this world break, I said softly. Please, live well. I reached out, letting my fingers graze his. A fleeting touch. A stolen moment. Then the light engulfed me. His voice tore through the darkness. Seraphina. When the light faded, I stood on the balcony of Wintermorn Manor. Alive. But changed. Final mission complete. System release initiated. Host will live. Narrative balance restored. Did I survive? I whispered. System, host's existence has been rewritten. The world remembers you differently. Your death flag has been removed. Bittersweet relief washed over me. I lived. But what about Selim? I asked breathlessly. And Lily? The system paused. Selim remembers. My heart froze. System, he remembers everything. Everything. The missions. The choices. The ending. The goodbye. Before I could respond, the system spoke one last time. Thank you, host. This is goodbye. And then it was gone. The silence left behind was heavy, lonely, final. I pressed a hand to my chest, struggling to breathe past the ache. He remembered. Which meant Seraphina. His voice, soft, hoarse, came from behind me. I turned slowly. Selim stood there, exhaustion written into his eyes, but alive. Whole. Real. You came back, he said, stepping forward. I searched everywhere. Warmth and pain collided inside me. I wasn't supposed to. I don't care, he said, voice breaking. You're here. He reached for my hand. And this time, I didn't pull away. Even if the world resets 1,000 times, he murmured, I'll find you. My breath hitched. Selim. This wasn't a fairy tale ending. Not complete. Not perfect. But he was here. I was alive. And somewhere between villainess and heroine, between rewritten fates and quiet longing, something fragile, hopeful, and painfully human remained. Bittersweet. But ours. Let's start over, he said softly. And for the first time since waking in this strange, rewritten world. I smiled. Okay.